Hey everybody, it's Maria, and today I wanted to talk to you about what I'm planning on reading in December. One of the books I've already finished yesterday, so I can just tell you about that too. I know there's only less than a month left before the end of the year, and I have not had a super strong reading year because I've been doing other stuff, which is fine. This is an ambitious TBR, but I'm feeling optimistic because I read a lot yesterday. I'm reading one on audio that's going faster than I thought. And I'm caught up on podcasts, which hasn't happened in the history of time. So I'm going to go ahead and say that all the cards are pointing to me finishing up the year strong. Here, let's just dive in. All right. The first one is Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. I am about a quarter of the way through with this. I've been reading out loud to my kids. It's great. I mean, Jim Kay, these renditions, if you have not seen them, go to your library and see if you have them. Even if you've already read Harry Potter, let's see if I can find. I mean, look at that. He's just, they're just so pretty. Just so pretty. So, yeah, we want to finish that up before the end of the year because I would love to watch that movie with the kids. And really, I'm just excited to see what they think about the ending. And anyway, it's great. Next up is a Christmas theme one. I got this last year for Christmas, and it's The Man Who Invented Christmas by Les Standiford. It is, I think it was written before the movie, but it does have the movie cover with Dan Stevens and Christopher Plummer, who I love both of those guys, so I'm excited about that. I've not let myself watch the movie because, again, I haven't read the book yet. It's about Charles Dickens and kind of how he created Christmas Carol and how it changed him, how the story changed him. And I just think that's really kind of a cool, I don't know. And it's a great time to read it because Christmas, obviously. The next book, I am about a third of the way through. It's The First Rule of Punk by Celia Perez. I'm excited about this. It's a middle grade book. I am vetting to see if I want to buy it for my niece. And so far the answer is yes. It is about a Mexican-American girl who identifies herself as half Mexican, half punk. She's moving to Chicago from Florida and kind of trying to figure out where she fits in. She likes to be more masculine with her dress, which is kind of uncomfortable for her mom and some other people, and I'm just really excited. There's also some really cool like zine stuff in here, so you can kind of see some of the stuff that they put in to kind of, I don't know, it fits the book so well, and I'm excited about finishing it. I think it'll be a good fit for my niece, so that'll be fun. And her birthday's coming up, and she likes reading, so I'm always trying to supply her. This next one I might DNF. It is Weird Math by David Darling and Agnijo Banerjee. It is a student and child prodigy and his teacher. They're supposed to be taking math concepts and making them really interesting and simple to read about. Some of it has landed with me and some of it's kind of not. And I don't often finish books that I am not loving because life's too short. I don't know if I'll finish this. I might just read some of the chapters. We'll find out. The Power of Moments by Chip Heath and Dan Heath. I'm excited about this. I saw this on, I think, Laura Tremaine's Smartest Person in the Room podcast. And I love books on intentional living and what really sticks out in your life. And I think this will be kind of a fun read. It also looks like it's going to be pretty short. Next up is 80Daze by Matthew Goodman. This is about Nellie Bly and Elizabeth Bisland's race around the world. I started it for nonfiction in November and have not finished it yet since it's been on my TBR for about 7 years. I think it's time that I just go ahead and finish it. I'm only a quarter of the way through this one, but I'm going to finish it because I love Nellie Bly and I actually enjoy the writing. I don't know why I haven't picked it up. I'm starting to wonder if I only pick up library books to read instead of books that I own, which is a problem. But it means that I probably won't buy myself very many books because I do that. This next one is one of the first Tristan Gooley books that I got for the month. This is called The Nature Instinct, Relearning Our Lost Intuition for the Inner Workings of the Natural World. Tristan Gooley is, I think he is out in the UK, but he is a natural navigator, which basically means that you can find your way around in the world without GPS. Using nature science, and I'm really, really bad and finding my way even with GPS. So I'm excited about kind of getting into this as I'm taking the naturalist course as well. I'm trying to tap into that side of myself, and maybe I'll learn something. I will at least learn something. I'm really bad at even remembering which side the sun comes up on. I mean, I'm really bad at directions, like really bad, embarrassingly bad. This next one is another one I'm vetting for my niece. It's called The Moon Within by Ada Salazar. It's a Mexican-American girl who is trying to, like, she feels very uncomfortable about how her mom's talking about her coming of age. And my niece is kind of in the midst of that time of life. So I don't know. We'll see if it's good. It's got a lot of good reviews, so that's a good sign. This next one is a reread. This is Just Mercy by Brian Stevenson. I love this book. It is one of the books that really, I would say, is in the top 10 books that have changed me. And I also just thought on my library they had it out for like, read this before the movie comes out, which then just boggled my mind because I didn't even know that there was a movie coming out. So now I got to look into that. Also, Olive mentioned it for BookTube Read Aloud, or read all together. The BookTube, I don't remember what the title was. My brain's it's been a long day, guys. But Just Mercy, it's a great book. If you've not picked it up, I really recommend it. I'm excited about going through it again because it really did affect me really strongly. And I want to see if it changes, I don't know, as much as I've changed in the last 5 years. How has the book changed? The Natural Navigator is another Tristan Gooley, a watchful explorer's guide to a nearly forgotten skill. You can kind of see that cover. So we'll find out. Again, this one's supposed to be pretty practical for natural navigation. This next one I actually read yesterday, and it's the first Tristan Gooley I picked up. How to Read Nature, Awaken Your Senses to the Outdoors You've Never Noticed. Taste directions, smell time, hear the weather, and more. Well, I don't know if I can taste direction and smell time. I love some of the nuggets in here about what to ask yourself as you're walking through. What time is it and where am I looking? And he talks about at one point, if you stare at a tree for 5-10 minutes, just stare at it and really learn the tree. And then you walk in a direction for 5 minutes and then look back at the tree again, it's going to look like a completely different tree, even slanting a different direction. And I think that's just a really cool way of realizing that, perspective is everything and it's always changing and you're never going to have the same moment and experience twice. And I just think that's such a beautiful bit. If that is all I took away from reading this book, I'm okay with that. I did have a couple other exercises I'm going to try with my kids out on nature hikes, and we'll see how it goes. Next up is Coming of Age, The Sexual Awakening of Margaret Mead by Deborah Beatrice Blum. This, I think, is written in prose, but it's based on all of her letters and diaries, so it is maybe historical fiction. I haven't read it yet to quite know if it's straight up nonfiction or if it's, I don't know. We'll find out. I don't know as much about Margaret Mead as I would like. I remember having a picture biography of her when I was little and just thought she was the coolest anthropologist for studying different things. Reading the book jacket, like, I had no idea. She's very unconventional for her time. She did get married, but also had some side relationships. I don't know to what extent. I'm just really interested at finding out more about Margaret Mead because I think I just found this on my library search engine when I was looking for something else. And I thought, wow, that looks interesting. The next one is Pachinko by Minjin Lee. As far as I know, my sister-in-law described this as like homegoing for Korea, which I'm excited about. We have a South Korean exchange student that is staying with us this year, and I'm trying to learn more about Korean culture and Korean history because I honestly didn't know as much as I should. So I'm excited about picking up this book. It's supposed to be fiction following lots of generations and how they were affected by history and what was going on. This next one is a book that I picked up because I watched the movie first. Professor Marston and the Wonder Woman was a book that a movie that my husband and I watched together, and I really liked it. I thought it was fascinating what it said about relationships and people's comfort levels and vulnerability levels in them. For those of you who don't know anything about the creation of Wonder Woman. I don't know. It's definitely not for those who like vanilla, and people who are a little bit more not wanting to be shocked. Like this, he had some really interesting. The creator of Wonder Woman had some very interesting relationships, ideas. There's some bondage in here. There's some things that are going to be very interesting. My mom loves Wonder Woman, and I have not told her about this book because I honestly don't know how she would feel about it. So, yeah, but I'm interested in reading about it. And Dad, if you're watching, I don't know, probably don't buy this for Mom. I don't think she wants to. She's got enough to read. And then the last one actually is also tied to my mom, funnily enough. This is Diana Gabaldon's Voyager. This is the third book in the Outlander series. And I'm slowly going through this. December 10th, Netflix is releasing season 3 on, and I want to be able to watch it. I'm halfway through, which is a big deal because I don't do big books well. I really don't. I like variety. I like mixing it up, and I have a hard time with series. So I'm doing great. For those of you who don't know, Outlander is kind of time travel / historical fiction set in Scotland and America, and there's some other places that kind of goes back and forth between, with Jamie and Claire as the main character. There's also some romance, so if that's something that you feel uncomfortable with, don't pick it up. But I am enjoying it, and my mom's obsessed with these, so I promised her I would finish the series. And then the last thing, I'm actually listening to Team of Rivals. Finally, I am listening to Team of Rivals on audio because I kept getting hung up on the size of it. Just scared me. And I really wanted to finish it because I love Abraham Lincoln. Also, I wanted to shout out Krista from Books and Jams. Thanks for sending me Abraham Lincoln books. Super pumped about hopefully fitting those in, if not in December and January, because that was really sweet of you. Anyway, I will talk to you all later. That is what I'm planning on reading. It's a lot to read, but I think I can do it. I'm doing great. I would love to know what you're finishing up the year with, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.